Hey, welcome back. It's Doom here, English Dungeons and Doom Biscuit on YouTube, and this is the 3.5 Monster Manual, and we're on part 2 of the Destrachan, which is like a dinosaur that has no eyes, super ears, and sonic attacks. So, what we have is something we've created that looks similar to that. We're gonna get some white paint and a makeup brush. And somebody commented that they had makeup brushes they didn't use anymore. Those are perfect for what you're doing here. That is exactly what you want. The ability to upcycle, recycle, and reuse, that is what I am all about. And you should be too. Especially if you have plastics and stuff that aren't going to come full circle and you can use them for something, please do. That's amazing. I love hearing anything like that. Because look, there's idiots out there saying, oh, I don't use grocery bags. That doesn't help. I mean, a little bit, but not significantly, because everything on the shelf is in plastic. The little bag inside the cereal box or cracker package. Everything is plastic, guys. Like, they make the dumbest arguments in the world. Now, yes, I am an environmentalist, and that's the field I work in. And I have a little more insight probably than like Bob on the street. But that doesn't mean that Bob on the street can't educate himself. Our world's not going to end in 10 years, no matter what they tell you. But it's not going to last forever, no matter what they tell you. Both sides of that argument in the scientific community are fools. There's a majority of us that you never hear about that believe that there's a lot going on naturally and a lot that we contribute to. And a lot of the things that people are saying we can do to make it better don't make a big difference. However, I will tell you that anything you can do to reuse garbage in a way is helpful. Plastics especially. All right, so that's kind of what we got going on there. And I think that looks pretty good. So what I want to do now is I want to get a light brown. Let's use speed paints. And I promise you guys I'll do another video today since this will be quick. And the next entry is devils. So there are a lot of choices there. I'll have to think a bit. So I'm going to get this light brown sand golem. Nah, I'm going to use this really light pallid bone. And do his body and everything with that. Where's that chunky brush I like at? There it is. Probably should have got that wet first. And then, since he's striped, we'll come back with like a yellow or something. Oh, we didn't hit this with a hot air gun. Always hit this with a hot air gun, this white, even though it looks dry, to make sure it's dry, because I'm reactivating it with the speed paint because it's not dry all the way. It looked dry, and it confused me for a moment, but it is not dry. That's okay. We'll make it work. So scientists, we're a weird community. We forget that our main job after we come up with a hypothesis is to spend 90% of our time trying to disprove it. We forget that regularly. And we're only supposed to spend 10% of our time trying to prove our hypothesis. Because if you want something to become a law, nothing can break the standard by which you designed it. There are very few laws on a lot of theories. Like you'll even hear the theory of relativity is something that is pretty solid, but it's just a theory, it's not a law. And actually we know it's not actually accurate because though Einstein was a phenomenal physicist, he was shit at math. So, but that's just neither here nor there, I guess. I can't remember what we're talking about. Oh, we're talking about upcycling. This plastic toy that my children definitely didn't want because it didn't look like a real dinosaur. stegosaurus that's from when my adult sons were kids came together to make this amazing little toy for us to put on our tabletop and represent the Destrachan. Alright, so with this, I'm going to use a little bit of that speed paint medium to thin this out to do our stripes. That's about half and half would be my guess. If I mean, I don't really know. I didn't measure it. Get our brush wet. Mix that up. And then let's see how we want to do the stripes. On his legs, it looks like they run kind of this way. And on his body, yep, same deal. Except for they run this way. Let's get one on his neck. And then just kind of drag that onto the top of his head. Something like that. And then let's do his plates in that as well. And any spots where you think his stripes are a bit extra, this is the part where you can kind of move that around and break up some of the perfection of those. All right, the Destrachan. He's starting out good. All right, let's get burnt umber and just start it on this base. And yes, we're going to use the greatest color in the world, apple barrels pavement, and we're going to use that for the rocks. This one didn't turn out terrible, did it? Apparently we got paid today. So I should probably go look and see if I made any money this time. When I'm done with this video, I'll go see if I made any money. I mean, obviously, I made some money, but it seems like anymore. It's not what it used to be. Stresses me out. I don't know if it really stresses me out that much, because the real truth is this. There's a ton of things I spend money on that we don't need, like more than one subscription service to watch movies, and just, you know, I use nicotine. That's obviously not important. That's stupid. I drink adult beverages pretty regularly. That's a waste of money. We probably buy more junk food and go out to eat more than you should. That's a waste of money. So the truth is, if I just tighten up the belt a little bit, it wouldn't be so bad. But you know what? We're a country of excess, and I embrace that. All right. We're going to hit him with a +2 hot air gun of burning and get some of that brown settled. And then I'm not drying that all the way, by the way. I'm just drying some. Then I'm just coming back with another brown in my pavement. And I'm just going to touch some of these spots with this brown. Get my brush a little wet. Give that some variety. And let's dry that up with the +2 hot air gun, burning a little bit. Voila! My favorite color in the world. Pavement. Let's just quickly hit these rocks. So you would say, I'm worried about two-toning dirt, but I'm not worried about using a realistic tones for stones. I'll tell you why. So this combination of gray and brown work together to create a fantasy vibe. So if you are doing all your stuff with these same kind of base tones for your groundwork, for your miniatures and your terrain and stuff like that, and you're staying semi-consistent, it all kind of melts together. It all kind of becomes consistent and real and immersive. So you might say that doesn't look real and that's not how that would go, but you know what? Trying to make something that looks ultra real every time is silly because it doesn't work. I see some people building super ultra realistic stuff on here. I've been watching YouTube a lot lately trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, because I have to assume that I'm not editing videos is a big problem, but what about just other things I might be doing? So I've been trying to watch other creators, and I was surprised that no one's doing the monster manual. I thought that was like probably one of what everyone would be doing. I'm like the dude that's doing that. It kind of makes me happy. But yeah, it's crazy because I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, I see these people doing this ultra realistic stuff, and it doesn't look that real to me. It looks too forced. And what do you do when you have like this ultra realistic terrain and somebody shows up with a doofy gnome miniature or something they want to use? How do you make that work? That sticks out like a sore thumb. But if you have a nice like fantasy vibe going, you can kind of, it's a mid-ground. Everything up and down from there can kind of fade in and work with it. We need to darken up his ears. So to do that, I'm just going to get this super dark brown here called dark wood. I'm just going to get a little bit of that. I'm going to get a very tiny brush. This is an Army Painter starter brush. It comes in like a craft set that you might get at like your local game shop. And where his eyes were, I'm just going to color those in dark brown to be his ears. And if anybody asks, tell them to shut up. They're not eyes. They're ears. And then I'm going to get that same brown and I'm going to do inside of his mouth. Darken that up a little bit. All right. Let's get some flock on this dude. We're going to be really careful with flock unless we hit him with the +2 hot air gun again. So let's hit him with the +2 hot air gun again and call it a win from here. So this flock I'm using is like 200 years old at least, and it is missing. I've lost my flock. Oh, there it is. This is Woodland. I didn't make this. This is Woodland Scenics. You've seen some of my stuff. I do a lot of on bases. I've been using this when I do my actual big builds and stuff. I do use my own flock because I have made so much of it over the years. But for the consistency on these minis, and I'm starting to even use this on some terrain. This has a really nice fantasy look. It's a very like vibrant mossy green, and it makes a really nice contrast to the light gray on the stone and this dirt, and it pops super nice, I think. And whenever I'm doing these, I don't have like a set rule. Sometimes I use a lot and sometimes I use a little. On this one I'm doing quite a bit of flock. Sometimes I just do a stream or two, like a little line. But on this, I'm doing some patches because I like to think this guy's walking around in the plains, and yeah, there's some dirt and stuff, but the bushes and trees I put out will more so show the terrain he's in, and this will just bring out the color on the base to make it flush in. Flush in? I don't know if that's how you say that, if that makes sense. I think I just made something dumb up. That's all right. Something like that, and I think that looks nice. All right. So, let's set this to the side and take a look at our Destrachan. Now, I might be saying that wrong. It could be Destrachan, Destrachan. Who knows? But there's our Destrachan. Destructive Harmonics is a like 5-part sonic attack that can affect flesh, bones, nervous systems, and material objects. So that's kind of their jam. So this is a large aberration. He's 10 foot long, and he is 10 foot long ish. And he has the mouth for the yelling, and no eyes. Those are ears. Remember, those are ears, not eyes. So if anybody thinks they're eyes, tell them to shut up. Their ears. All right, let's let that guy dry off. We'll clear coat him, take him upstairs, put him on the table, put him on my turntable, get some thumbnails, and see where we can go from there. I want to show you guys something. I did not have a cave base to display on my turntable, so I started making a cave base with some stalagmites on them. Remember, you can always tell the difference between stalagmite and stalactite. Stalactites hang tightly from the ceiling, and stalagmites might grow up to be big one day. So that's just an easy thing to help you remember that. That's how I've remembered it since I was a tiny little doom. So I am now making a display to put my cave miniatures on, so they're not like on this grassy field, because it was, let's say it was unrealistic for me to set up giant entire miniature displays to catch a photo of one little teeny portion of it. So I switched to this format, which was easier. So thanks for watching. If you like what we're doing here, like, subscribe, share, notification bell, call to action, blah, blah, blah. Look in the description. There will be links. If not today, there will be soon, to the website, where if you want to buy some of our minis, not the minis we're making here, I'm teaching you how to make these so you can save money, but our minis, which are the Dungeon Swag minis. And basically, we have a subscription service where you get a loot crate every month. This month, it's an adventuring party, and we have a preview of that up on the Discord if you want to look at the minis. And we also sell some one-offs of werebear mana and stuff like that. Big stuff that they're too big to put in the box. So if you want to get a free miniature on the house, you can do that. We have a discount code for that too. Check it out on our Discord, and you don't have to put in any credit card information or anything. All you need to do is put in your address, and we send you a mini. It doesn't cost you a dime. There's no better way to prove to you that we believe in our product than to send you one, and we're willing to do that. So every month we'll send out so many for free so people can check us out and see if they like us. You should feel more than free to do that. We'd love to see you. Come on the Discord, hang out with us, paint with us, craft with us. I'm going to try to make a commitment to at least once every 2 weeks get paint night going again. Paint night's a fun time where we just kind of BS and just talk about miniatures and role-playing games, any kind of tabletop games, really. Warhammer sometimes. And we paint and talk. And also, I have some adventure stuff prepared for that, too. So if we want to run some stuff while we were painting, just silly little easy D&D, like not real D&D, like, but, you know, D20-based adventure stuff. So come check us out on Discord, and I'd really love to see you guys there. So, yeah. Destrachan. Bye-bye. We'll see you in a little bit.